Welcome to Absolutely Marvel in DC. My name's Benny. That's Dylan. And today we're going to talk about Supergirl, Episode 3, Season 6? 6?
Yeah, 6. Okay,
cool. For reference, Dylan has watched every season. I watched seasons 1 and 2, and I jumped back in for this season. And I'm enjoying it. I have been enjoying it. I do want to say I accidentally started up Episode 1 of Season 6 first and was a little confused. Because I'm like, wait, didn't Brainy and Lex is going to prison, but we did the trial? Wait a minute.
This is the wrong episode.
So I was reading comments on the last Supergirl episode, and someone said the reason why Supergirl's actually in the Phantom Zone is because of her pregnancy. They were able to film her segment separate from the cast.
Oh.
Which totally makes sense, because you could just film all of her stuff with 1 or 2 people.
People got to stop being pregnant. ruining plot lines and stuff. I want to see Supergirl with the rest of the cast.
I'm gonna, if anybody has problems with Dylan's apparently view that women should stop being pregnant, you can
said people.
No, you said only women can get pregnant, Dylan. I know things are getting different in 2021, but there's still only women that can get pregnant.
There's still like a bounty out for like $100,000 for the first like male to get pregnant.
You're not wrong, but we haven't done it yet.
Yeah, the bounty's still out there. Anyway.
But yeah, someone commented that was the reason, which actually makes a lot of sense, because you just get 1 or 2 additional actors, a CG monster, and boom, we're good to go. So, this episode I found Lena and... Okay, first off, I didn't know Lex was so evil to burn down a children's ward. Wow,
yeah,
is that normal in this show?
No. And the weird thing is, like, I think they've completely forgotten about because remember last time we talked about this, I mentioned that Lena used Nanu Cherry on Lex and Lillian.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if they're going to do a different Lex where he can't, like, physically hurt people because of Nanu Cherry. No. Clearly that's not the case. I think they just don't care about that plot line. They just put it away, which is weird.
I just found that crazy for like a CW show. He's like, watch the news. He's burning down the children's ward. Like, that is what the Joker did in The Dark Knight. Like, that was a movie.
It's like he's more violent now.
Yeah, like, what? His answer, Lena's like, I'm donating your money. And Lex is like, I will burn down the recipient.
All right, well, jeez.
Talk about going from like 0 to 900 on this retaliation.
I will say Lena's whole like kind of through line in this episode where she's leaving Luthor Corp to get away from Lex, expertly done. I think that was the correct decision.
I liked it. I do feel like I would have cared more if I had been watching the show, like that this was a big pivotal moment, which also brings me to my only... I thought the acting was really well, but it just went on for so long. I felt like I needed to care about Lena and Brainy more. But the over-the-top reaction to like them both crying and talking about emotions, and I'm sitting there like we're 5 minutes in, and Brainiac is like punching things and crying, and I'm like, I think I need to know more about Brainy. So Dylan, why was this so? Because the acting itself was good, but I was just like, wow, this is going on for a while.
That was my favorite scene in this episode, and I was kind of with you where I couldn't tell if I liked it because it was so over the top that it was funny, or if I liked it because they were actually doing a genuinely good job, and I don't expect that from a show out like this.
Right.
I'm still not sure where I land on that. The point is, I like the scene, but I think it was super cathartic because in the previous season they did have kind of like a plot line where Lena mentioned like putting their emotions in little boxes. That's something that Brainiac told Lena to do when she was trying to work against Lex, because Brainy's whole plotline in season 5 is that he was manipulated by Lex into helping him, and he turned off his personality. Like, he put personality inhibitors on, so he was just, like, really boring for an entire season. But now they're gone, so everything that he did, sort of like Winter Soldier, all that like hit him and he was filled with emotion. That's kind of happening to Brainiac now. And they've both have had a contentious relationship with Lex for the past couple seasons, especially in season 5. So like, you know, Lex has always sort of manipulated Lena into doing whatever he wants her to do, and same with Brainiac in season 5. So it was a very good and cathartic scene to see both of them like express like anger about the situation, and then Lena do something about it by quitting Luthor Corp. I don't know what Brainy's gonna do. I guess kill Lex. Who knows?
I mean, I was on board with that plan. Like,
yeah, me too.
I was like, go kill Lex. Why are we against this?
I love because we do occasionally get shades of like evil Brainiac in Brainiac 5. It doesn't come out often, but I liked that scene where it was like, oh, this guy's diabolical right now.
He's like, I'll kill her and I'll put him in different places and he can't come back this time. And I'm like, whoa.
He was like, I don't care how you do it, just make sure it's slow, and he suffers. I'm like, geez, Brainiac. All right.
Also, another thing I noticed from this episode, based upon what we said in our Flash one about Cisco missing from the Flash episode this week, Dreamer. You just explained Dreamer to me.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's out for the episode. Where's she at? Retreat.
Yeah, she's on assignment. She's replacing Kara at Catco. Yeah, that was I like Dreamer a lot. I think it was I'm glad that she wasn't there, because I feel like she kind of would have been a third wheel to Brainy and Lena's whole thing. Just because they would have written a scene in there where Dreamer came in and consoled Brainy, and I think I like seeing a more positive friendship angle to that, of like, we have shared trauma with this horrible person and we're gonna get through it together, as opposed to like, I'm your girlfriend, I'll make you feel good. And that's, you know, that's more, one's more played out than the other, and I'm glad we got to see this relationship because it's more interesting to me.
All right. I just found it interesting. Like, you just explained her to me, and I'm like, and now she's off the show.
Now she's out. She'll be back.
Also, thank you for explaining to me the Martian Manhunter and Megan thing, because if I hadn't known that, this episode would have been like, whoa!
Weird, right? Yeah. Would have been very confusing.
Yeah.
I liked maybe like 66% of this episode. But the third that I didn't like was all of that stuff. Anything to do with Alex or the Martians. Like, this show is like split into 3 sections. You've got the Luthors, Supergirl, and the Martians. Yeah. And each character kind of like
I didn't like the Martian stuff.
No, because I
also felt like when they got to the Martian storyline, they ran out of budget, because like, she took her hit off screen, like, and there's the monster. Oh my god!
You see him fly for like 2 frames into a portal.
Like, they're like, we used all the budget on Supergirl and Brainy stuff, so sorry.
That's fair. What did you think of you're seeing more of Alex as a superhero and her relationship with I wanted to say Maggie, but that's the other girlfriend. What's her name? I don't remember.
I remember Maggie. I didn't even know who this girlfriend was. She came out of nowhere. I remember glancing away from the screen for a minute, because somebody, like, I was watching it on the couch on the tablet, and I glanced away and I come back and I'm like, who the heck is this girl? Like,
it's her girlfriend. I don't remember her name. She's James Olsen's sister.
Is that who she is? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like her character because, like, I guess the sister Alex is superhero, because she's like, hubbo, boom, hoodie, now carry me. Like, I was like, what? And then it's like an awkward scene where they're just kind of standing. They're obviously on a green screen and just being dropped in. I'm like I said, the budget was wasted. Well, not wasted, but used a Supergirl and Brady. And they're like,
that's not even budget. That's directing. Like, if somebody's going to drop into a scene after like a lot of like force has been applied to them, they're gonna stumble a little bit. They're not just gonna like stand there still as a button. Like, just tell your actors to like go like this.
But not even just that. Like, Alex is being carried and she's just like like, didn't even look like she's flying. They just like boom, just slide the frame down. Good, we're good. It lined up. We're good. Walk.
Got it done in 30 seconds. Very good.
That whole scene, I was like, they were so out of budget for this part, because like I said, Megan was already on the ground. I'm like, oh, she went off to fight the villain. Oh, that'll be a cool fight. Nope, she's down. She's down.
I called it because the previous episode, when I noticed that Alex has, part of her costume is the blue eyeshadow that she has on. And anytime I see a superhero with makeup on, I'm like, they're not always gonna, like, where do they have the time to put that makeup on? And then sure enough, in this episode, she is in her normal civilian clothes with no, like, crazy superhero makeup on. And she uses we see for the first time how she puts her costume on with her Martian.
Okay, so you've never seen that before?
No, that's new.
I was like, what is this, like a Sailor Moon thing?
So she puts her costume on, and then they cut away. And when they cut away, I was like, how much do you want to bet that when they cut back, she's going to have that makeup on? And they cut back, and sure enough.
So, like, now I'm picturing her in flight. Like, holding on to Martian Manhunter and being like, hold steady, steady. I mean, the Martian stuff, I didn't dig that much. Who's the vampire that had the Phantom in him?
He was in the previous episode.
Yeah, and I didn't know who he was then.
No, he showed up for the first time in the last episode.
Oh, okay. I like the way that everyone talked to him. I thought he was, well, he's not anymore.
Yeah. That's kind of the way this show goes. For whatever reason, any new character they treat like they are going to be around for a while. It's very strange.
Because they all acted like they knew this vampire guy, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be something that I missed out on,
Nope. That's just a dude who's like a vampire alien.
I did like the Supergirl stuff, although the acting was a little funny when she hurt her knee, and she's like, don't worry, I'll push through. Oh my God! I was like, as soon as she did that, I'm like, I'm not even against her reacting in that way. But if your knee hurts that much, you were not about to go, I'll push through. Like,
well, she's Supergirl. That's the point. She's stronger than us. I really liked the Supergirl stuff.
Yeah, I did too.
This episode.
Okay, so they mentioned Mixel-Pitalik. He was in the show before?
Oh yeah, you've seen him before because he's been in crossovers. He's shown up in certain things. He's the first time he showed up was the Flash Supergirl musical crossover. He was the impetus behind that.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
And he's shown up multiple times since. He's been mostly he's a good guy. But he's mischievous. He's Mixie-Spillik. But
even in the comics though, I don't think we've ever elaborated on the fifth dimension. So is this all new? The princess, the king, everyone has magical powers?
I tried to look it up because when she said her name, I was like, there's no way I'm spelling that. So I just looked up fifth dimensional imps, and there was a list. And the only one, like Batmite and Mixie-Spitlick was on there. There was one that started with an N that I think might have been her, but I couldn't click it. Like there was no separate page for her.
So she's got like a brief mention, and that's the extent of it.
It's possible. The way that I saw it is like, how I made a video about this a long time ago, but how the female versions of the superheroes always have female versions of their male counterparts. So like we get Lena Luthor instead of Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah, back in the day when they would always do it that way.
Yeah, and that I assume that this character, if she does have a comic source, is just Supergirl's version of Mixie. Which would make sense. I really liked her in the episode.
I thought she was fun. I also 100% was like, there's definitely more going on here, and I liked that mystery that was brought up into it.
Yeah. I think she's our villain. I think she's gonna come back with Papa Zor-El and Kara, and then
Founder
Nixie or whatever her name.
She has 2 appearances, and she is the quinto partner of Mr. Mixel-Pitalik, who first appeared in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 52, 1961.
Oh, so maybe Mixie will come back, and then with their powers combined, they will be the villain. I think that she was introduced as if like that was a villain character, and I think there's enough mystery and like vagueness to her character that once we get back into the real world, she's gonna be. She
even looks like her comic book counterpart now. I'll link it so you can put it into the video now. Let me link to see. You'll click this. Apparently, this is her current, most recent appearance.
Oh yeah, that's cool. She does look like
that was what she did look like until they did the swap run.
Oh, very different.
Yeah, and apparently she was even in, I kind of remember the episode, DC Animated Universe, in one of the Superman episodes when he goes to see Mxyzptlk's girlfriend, and that's who she was in that one too.
Interesting. So. Yes, I mean, she clearly knows Mixie. Yeah, she knows him well enough to call him Mixie. So
yeah,
they probably have some kind of past.
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked her. I liked the actor. I think she did a good job. She's more interesting of a character than we normally see on this show. So
I wonder how long she's gonna stick around though, because I mean, she's like, I just want a friend. I feel like it's gonna turn into one of those things where she just wants Supergirl to be her friend, and then she's gonna prevent Supergirl from leaving. Like, it'll be one of those, like, you can't leave without me kind of a situation.
Well, I mean, the plan is that she's going to go with them. That's what I was saying.
Right,
I think she's going to be...
I see something happening where she can't, or...
Right. Which could be... I was saying I think she's going to be the villain of the season.
Yeah.
So I think that's...
So we're agreeing. She'll become the villain, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's... Because this show always usually has, like, 2 villains. Lex is somehow always one of them.
Well, he was didn't they bring him in, like, season 3 or 4, and he's just been around ever since then?
I think it was, like, the tail end of 4. I don't remember.
I remember when they brought in John Cryer, and everyone's like, "What?"
Yeah, because there was one season where he had his power suit, and he was like he flew around to Frank Sinatra, and it was awesome.
Did he? I got to watch those clips.
It was great. He flew around and was like blowing stuff up to "I Did It My Way." Wonderful scene. And then season 5 was him and Leviathan. He was trying to like save the world from Leviathan, but also he just wanted to be a god. So
yeah, they showed in the previous season, they showed some like robot person touch him and be like, I am a god. And I'm like, who is that? And then the next clip was Brainy like sucking them into a tube. And I'm like, guess it doesn't matter.
Nope. Yeah, you literally do not need to care about anything in season 5, pretty much. Except a few character motivations. They're clearly like, don't want to reference that season much.
Well, anyway, I did enjoy this episode. As a person jumping into season 6, I'm a little lost. Thankfully, I got my buddy Dylan to fill me in. Did you enjoy it, Dylan?
Yeah, I really liked the episode. I'm when I said last week that I'm excited with like the Supergirl stuff and the Phantom Zone, I didn't know it was going in this direction, but I kind of got the feeling that they were going in some interesting direction, and they are. So that and the Brainy and Lena stuff is the most interesting to me. Lena's always been like a really cool, interesting, well-acted character in this show. So I'm glad they're giving her some kind of turn. Who knows what she's going to do.
All right. Well, don't forget to join us next week when Dylan and I discuss another episode of Supergirl. And thank you guys so much for joining us today on Absolutely Marvel and DC.
Woo!
Are we doing this now? Marvel and DC!
Bye.